Your life with me, Reverend Lee. We're here today to look at life. I just read a post on Facebook and it had a picture of a nun with a ruler. And the comment was, "Do you remember those days?" And the comments were, "I was terrified. Nuns terrified me, terrified me." Well, I went to Catholic school as well, and I had nuns. And I was that naughty little boy. You bet I was. And I had a great time tormenting the nuns. So for me, I have no regrets. And so that fits right in with what we're talking about today, the key to forgiveness. The key to forgiveness is simply to remove the emotional charge behind an event or a person that we have attached to it. Once we remove that emotional charge, that event no longer has power over us. But until we do, well, we're screwed. That event owns us. That person owns us. Think about that. If you've been in any type of relationship and you've not seen the good and the bad that came out of that relationship, and when you think of that person, that guy or that girl, and you think of that person and you get emotionally, your butt puckers, you got some work to do. You got to find a way to balance that out. You got to find a way to say, okay, I had some horrific experiences there, but what good came from them? Oh my God. So much good comes from everything, but we have to open our eyes. But we don't. We want everything to be happy all the time, and that's just so unrealistic. It's unbelievable. Because think about this. The thing I remember when I was a little guy, back in the days of the nuns would say, well, you're going to go to heaven. You'll be on a cloud playing a harp. And I go, how friggin' boring is that? The key thing is we're not meant to be bored. And in human form, guess what? In order not to be bored, there has to be contrast. Do you get that? There has to be contrast. So if you can understand that contrast is a vital part of life, then you understand that those events that you believe were very painful were there to give you contrast so that you could make a new decision, make a new path, go in a new direction. So let's say you had a partner and it wasn't a good relationship and they really did you a job. And you're there holding on. They were doing you a favor. They were letting you know that the two of you were not a vibrational match and you needed to go in a different direction. And in order to go in a different direction, you had to become a different person, and so did they. And the only way that that could work is by letting go of each other. So many times we get into a relationship and we hold on to that relationship because we've been domesticated believing that we have to have one and only one relationship. We can have one or we can have many. There's no one judging us but ourselves. And when you start to understand that you are the judge, you are the jury, then you can say, wait a second. Why am I being so hard on myself today? Why am I judging myself that? And you see, let's break this down. Let's get it right down to the nitty gritty. All depression and all anxiety is trying to live up to unrealistic expectations that we have bought into. We've either set them or we've allowed others to set them and we buy into it. Whoa, why would we do that? I don't know. I don't know why we'd be doing that. It doesn't make sense to me. So I share with you these things because if you want to free yourself, you've got to neutralize the emotional charge behind these negative events that are holding you back, that are creating a fear atmosphere in which you're living in. And that energy that you're living in, that fear energy radiates out and everyone feels it. They may not understand it, but they feel it. So if you have a fearful energy, are you going to attract the right partner into your life? Are you going to attract the right job, the right experience? Or are you going to attract something that's attracted to fear? Yeah, I don't fear the nuns anymore. In fact, I never feared the nuns. Never did. And that's made my parents crazy. That made the nuns crazy. That made Monsignor Hardy crazy. It made Father Scanlon crazy because they all were trying to use fear to control me. And God bless it. God bless it. I didn't buy into the BS. Do I have some fear? Yeah, I'm human just like you. I have fears, but I learned to overcome them by setting a realistic expectation and stepping into the unknown, just a little bit into the unknown. Some of you are saying, well, no, Lee, you're way in the unknown. Well, some of you might say that. I'm getting a lot of comments about me doing my cold tubs every morning. How can you do that? Because I do. I don't have fear about it. I see the benefit of it. I do the cold tub because I have stacked the benefits of how it will improve my health, how I am feeling better afterwards. The same thing happens that when you're looking at an event, that your life that scarred you, that's tainted you, that's caused you to be in absolute misery, you've got to find the good. You got to stack the benefits that came from it, because until you can stack the benefits from it, nothing good's going to happen. I look at my parents who did the best they could, but had no friggin' idea about what love was. My mom and dad basically believed that love was yelling at me, taking a wooden spoon and hitting me. And I thought that if my parents weren't yelling at me, I wasn't being loved. Isn't that nonsense? But I've gotten over that. I realized they just friggin' didn't know any better. In my family, we never said, I love you. And I can remember my father was going in for brain surgery, having a tumor taken out of his brain. And right before he went in, I looked at him and said, Dad, I love you. And he looked back in surprised. And he said, Lee, I love you too. From that day on, we said, I love you. From that day on, I said, I love you to my mother. I changed what love was. I let go of all the crap that people would say, well, you got to forgive your parents. My brother never did. My brother never let go. And so he was raging with inner anger. And you see, that's what happens when you don't forgive. You rage with inner anger. It builds, it builds, it builds. And you don't even realize it, but you're taking it out on everybody out there. Blossom says, I love you, Lee. Though I don't know you, I love you as God loves you. Well, Blossom, let me just share with you this. Love simply means to accept. It has nothing to do with romance. It has nothing to do with liking. Love is simply the ability to see that everyone is a unique, whole, and perfect expression of the infinite, and to accept them as that. So I don't know who the hell you are either, but I can tell you I love you. Do I like you? No friggin' idea. No friggin' idea. But I can say I love you. Love is easy compared to like. And see, I don't force liking either, because like is a vibration. And you're going to like some people. You're not going to like other people. I spend time with people I like. I get to choose that. But I also choose to love everyone to the best that I can. Sometimes I'm human and someone may tick me off and I may get, but I realize that's not love that's ticking me off. It's my liking. It's my vibrational frequency that's doing that. So let's come back to where we started. Forgiveness is our ability to remove the negative charge from an event or from a person. And when we do that, we free ourselves to live in the now. And my friends, in the now is the only place that we truly, really live. It's also the only place where we can love. You can't love in the past. You can't love in the future. You love now. I haven't said hi to all of you. I've seen all of you out there. I'm grateful that you joined me today, Bodie and Blossom and Johanna and Gracie and Cody and everybody else. I can honestly look at you or look at your name and say, I love you. Can you look in the mirror and say the same thing about yourself? I invite you to go there right now and do it. Because until you love yourself, you've got nothing for anyone else. Hey, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., go to agapespiritualcenter.com, calendar, get the Zoom link. We're doing our online healing. If you've not been a part of that, I'm telling you, it's the single best thing I've ever done. It gets us into a state of oneness and we give love to others. And when we give love to others, love comes back to us. Be a part of it. Healing through love. Until tomorrow, make it a great day, everyone. Aloha.